I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He has fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express. When you see that yellow box, you know it's going to knock off your socks.
Okay.
We can. Okay. Yeah, I pulled it from the fire. We were heading for a crash landing, and I was able to pull the nose up and stuff. So, yeah, it's go eat Chicken Express. It's delicious. They got delicious tenders and lots of other things too. Thanks, Chicken Express. We love you. It's This Week in Recruiting. A lot to get to this week on the recruiting trail. Let us start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise, we're going to Midway. We actually had the new head coach at Midway, Joe Gillespie, on our show on Monday. And one of the guys he's inheriting is senior linebacker Donovan Jones, who picked up offers this week from Baylor and Texas Southern. He's already got offers from places like Oklahoma State, Houston, and TCU. Donovan Jones is going to be a key part of this Midway defense, and a guy that I think is going to be shooting up recruiting rankings.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The one thing that I love about his tape is that he's very good in space. Even if you're a quick running back, he has the speed and the agility to run you down in the open areas of the field. And he's very athletic. I love that about him. He's a versatile linebacker, a guy that can do a little bit of everything. Wouldn't be a surprise to me, like if you went back throughout the course of his playing career, and I don't know the answer to this, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was a running back or a potential defensive back before he grew into a linebacker's body, because that's the way he plays. He is a really good coverage guy, and I think that fits today's game extremely well. And I think he's a guy that you'll continue to see grab attention as the spring evaluation period unfolds.
Two big offers this week from Midway linebacker Donovan Jones. Let's go to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, bouncing down to the Houston area to talk about spring senior defensive tackle Floyd Guidry, who pulled the trigger this week to commit to TCU. Had offers from places like Texas and Texas A&M, plus Baylor, Houston, and Texas Tech. But the Horned Frogs secure the big defensive tackle from spring in Floyd Guidry.
6'1", 275 pounds in that range. A guy who is a gap plugger in the middle of the field. Really can do a good job versus the run. He's not easy to move out of a gap. A big get for TCU because Floyd Guidry had offers from quite a few notable programs, especially in the Lone Star State. He had offers from Texas and Texas A&M. LSU had extended him an offer, Houston. So this is a big get for Sonny Dykes and co. there in Fort Worth, because Floyd Guidry was a wanted target and a DCTF Hot 100 member.
Floyd Guidry is a big fella. We're talking This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, hashtag TF Today. Floyd Guidry, big fella. Let's go to another big fella when we talk about our underclassman of the week. Our underclassman of the week is Euless Trinity junior offensive lineman Katoa. I'm not going to pretend to try his first name. I did it once with a very prominent Euless Trinity offensive lineman. I learned how to say Halapulavati Vaitai. I'll need some time to get Toa, but the enormous junior offensive lineman picked up an offer from Texas this week, and that feels like a big one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And this is one of the guys that really jumped out at the Under Armour camp as well, one of the underclassmen who really jumped out. He is huge at 6'4", 370 pounds. I think all is right in the world when Euless Trinity is producing top-tier offensive linemen and have a tremendous running back, and they do this year in Josh Bell. So this is going to be a fun to watch Euless Trinity team, and Toa Katoa is a guy who you're definitely going to notice if you go catch a game out there in Bedford this fall. He's a mauler up front, pushes people around, and I think his offer list is going to continue to explode and be one of these guys that has a national offer list. You know, Nebraska, UTSA, and SMU have also offered him, so he has 4 scholarships right now. Wouldn't be surprised to see him have many more by the time we're talking about him next season.
I just want to make sure we underline this. This is Euless Trinity Jr. In fact, right now, as we are saying these words, he's a sophomore in high school. Toa Katoa, who clocks in at 6'4", 370. So
it's impressive.
They're growing them big down there in the mid cities.
And I want to say, I want to commend Katoa, because last year when we had him at a camp, he was over 380. So the 370-pound mark is he's dropped some weight and added good muscle to his frame from last season.
Let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week will stay in the DFW Metroplex and talk about Denton Guyer quarterback Kevin Sperry. That is a sentence that we could not say until recently. Kevin Sperry returning to the Lone Star State after a year in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma commit is transferring to Denton Guyer, and by the way, is heading to the Elite 11 finals. But Kevin Sperry will. I mean, I don't want to assume things. Reed Heim will have his pick of the litter, but he would have to be at least considered the front runner to be the starting quarterback for Guyer, and quite a move in there for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because Denton Guyer has a tremendous class of 2027 quarterback in Zephyr Cray, a guy to really keep an eye on there as he grows and matures within that offensive system. But I got to think that Kevin Sperry, because he's a senior, has the odds-on advantage to be the starting quarterback within that system. As a matter of fact, I think one of the reasons why Jackson Arnold was able to play early at Oklahoma, where Kevin Sperry happens to be committed, is because the Denton Guyer offensive scheme mimics the OU offensive scheme pretty closely. So that's something to take into consideration when you're talking about Kevin Sperry and his move to Denton Guyer. This is a move that I think benefits Sperry, it benefits Oklahoma, and it benefits Denton Guyer. So this is a huge move back, I guess is the best way to say it. He played at Prosper Rock Hill. Go ahead. He played at Prosper Rock Hill as a sophomore. He threw 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. So he went up to Carl Albert in Midwest City, which is just kind of south of Oklahoma City, and threw for 31 touchdowns to 4 interceptions and led his team to a state championship last year. So Kevin Sperry got some good experience up in OK Preps, and he'll be using that to his advantage now that he's back in Texas high school football.
Yeah, back here in the Lone Star State is Kevin Sperry there at Denton Guyer. One guy who keeps his feet firmly planted in the Lone Star State is Greg Powers, our director of recruiting. Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Powers, appreciate your time, my friend.
All right, man. We'll see you in the offices soon.